Hello, everybody. My name is Tim Alfredo, and welcome to Chat Desk Unplugged, a show that promotes education and English language learning in Mozambique. English is a language in demand globally. It's a language for communication. It's a language for business opportunities. It's a language for technology, and it's a language for access to resources. And the big question is, what really happens to students learning English in Mozambique? What challenges do they face, and how can we make it better? These are the questions that we try to bring practical and effective experiences and solutions, of course. Every Wednesdays, we have the privilege of inviting different guests, from educators to students, teachers, and also the public in general, to give us their experiences as to how they managed to dive into this journey of learning English, what obstacles they found, and what solutions they've also come up with to share their experiences. Today we have the privilege of inviting Mr. Bruno Sitoe. He's a consultant expert. He's an occupational health and safety, right?
Yes.
He is into occupational health and safety. Bruno is also an entrepreneur. He is the founder and CEO of Comensu, which is an educational insurance initiative that helps students pursue their career in college. Mr. Bruno, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you for having me here. Good afternoon to everybody on the other side, and I hope we have a good interview.
Could you please get closer to your microphone?
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, as I was saying, thank you for the opportunity. Good afternoon or good morning to anybody that's on the other side. Good night even, or good evening.
You grew up in Botswana.
Yeah.
And that's where you did your primary education.
Yes.
And then you moved to Zimbabwe to continue.
Yes.
In the secondary education school.
Yeah.
How did that experience shape your relationship with the English language?
Basically, you can imagine the English-speaking countries, even though there is the benefit of most of the people speaking their native language, different from what happens to people in Mozambique, whereby they mostly speak Portuguese rather than the native language, like Xangana, for instance. And that's where there is a little bit of a difference. But on the other hand, since studying is in English, it's perfect. It's okay to learn.
Interesting. Mozambique is a multilingual country. Portuguese is the official language, of course, but apart from Portuguese, there are many other native or local languages, about 40 or perhaps even more. How does that experience relate to your time in Botswana, since we know that Botswana also has English as its official language, however, but there are some local languages. How does that relate to a student learning English in Mozambique, knowing that there are also other related languages?
I don't think it interferes. It's not a question, because what I've noticed in general in the Mozambican population, there is a big preference of them speaking the official language, as Portuguese, in comparison to their native languages. Whilst in Botswana, for instance, in any instance, may it be at work, may it be at school, or even at home, people mostly speak Tswana. If you go to South Africa, for instance, people will basically mostly speak their native language, like whatever. And in Zimbabwe also, they will speak Ndebele or they will speak Shona in preference, you understand. And English will be mostly spoken in school. Therefore, there is this big difference. But I think that the other factor is that we're a landlocked country. landlocked in terms of language, right?
Right.
Because, Mozambique has neighboring countries that everybody speaks
Speak English.
English except for us. So I think it's very mysterious that Mozambicans haven't got that integrated into the system yet. So it's very, very weird because everybody speaks English around us. And I find it difficult to understand how come we haven't had the opportunity of having the system altered a little bit, not 100%, but
right,
just a little bit, into an English-speaking system.
Especially with the fact that we are also parts of the Commonwealth countries.
Yeah, and SADC also.
Right.
We're in the SADC countries. Most of them speak English, except for Angola, right? But the other thing is that I've noticed is that Mozambicans don't have the urge of traveling. We're not traveling. We're not a traveling society. Most of Mozambicans don't travel abroad, like what happens to the east and western population of Africa. Well, they tend to travel out of their country. If we had that spirit of traveling a lot, immigrating a lot, then maybe we would have the experience of having a lot of people speaking English. Besides that, I can't respond. I find it very, very difficult to understand.
Mozambique has made some sort of a significant improvement in terms of their efforts to get the integration into the region, basically. What challenges do you think the country is still facing in terms of English language learning in rural areas? Because right now, when we look at it, the small percentage of people who speak English are more likely to be found in the urban areas. What about the rural areas?
Yeah, that's a very easy question because where there's education, there's development. And if you find that a lot of people are speaking English, that's a checklist for you to notice that there's development. So we are considered an underdeveloped country.
Yes.
And therefore, education is not reaching everybody. Okay, our development index is not, or rate you may say, is not acceptably high. Right? It's low. It's very low, actually. Even for the majority of the people in the districts, they can barely speak proper Portuguese, so to say. So it will be very difficult for them for the government to be able to integrate English, whilst Portuguese is still a dilemma. So yeah, I think when the country is going to be considered a well-educated country as per people, then we can consider people speaking English in the district. That's not a conversation of today. I think there's a lot of efforts to be done, considering integrating all. I learned that there is bilingual studies now, trying to make students understand the subjects in their own mother tongue language.
Right.
Besides learning it in Portuguese, so they learn in two languages. They learn disciplines and subjects of primary and secondary school in two languages in the districts, because there's a big difficulty of students learning in Portuguese because they don't know how to speak Portuguese.
Of course.
So I think it's very premature to have the system, or to pressurize the system to have English as a priority of studying or whatever you can consider for the population in the districts.
You are a strong advocate of occupational health and safety. How do you think English skills help professionals in Mozambique? We're talking about the mining area, we're talking about agriculture and others.
English used to be a passport for a new job. It used to be. Nowadays, it's not mostly that. Nowadays, companies are looking for people who can make it happen.
Right.
And they are not looking at if he can speak English, but rather than how can he help
How can you
company
yes.
grow? And how can we get to our targets better than whether it's with an English-speaking person or not. So, if you mention areas, because you mentioned agriculture and other industries, but if you mention administrative work that's needed for communication with international companies, that's another issue, where it's a must that you must speak English. But if you know skills, if you have skills in occupational health and safety, and if you have skills in security for companies and consultancy and et cetera, English might help, but you must know your work. That's a primary obligation. Yeah, but it does help because you must know a little bit of English to be able to communicate, and also a lot of subjects come in, a lot of information comes
Right.
in English. Okay. That's another benefit. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, let's move into our first segment. We call it Etymology Quest. And in this segment, we try to trace back the origins of some of the words that are used in English, but they came from other languages. So let's check out. Welcome back, Bruno. We have a segment here. It's called Etymology Quest. In this segment, we try to trace back some words, common words, which we find in English. But in most cases, we don't realize that these words came from other languages. They just got imported and adopted into the English language. So I'm going to ask you 3 words, one by one, and I want to see if you can guess where these words came from.
Okay.
Right. The first word is tobacco. Tobacco.
Okay. That's the answer now?
Yeah. Whenever you whenever you're ready.
Oh, tobacco? Sounds Spanish.
Well, and you're absolutely correct. Did you always knew that?
No, it sounds Spanish.
Okay, sounds Spanish. Do you speak Spanish?
No.
May I ask you that?
No, I don't speak Spanish.
Okay, right. Congratulations. Congratulations. This might be easy. The next one too. Tsunami.
Oh, tsunami is definitely Japanese. They're definitely Japanese. Definitely Japanese.
and that's basically where it mainly happened. So I mean, it's easier to relate.
Yeah.
Good. The last one is cartoon.
Cartoon?
Cartoon. Cartoon.
Cartoon is not English?
No, it's not.
Cartoon? Okay. Oh, but cartoon can be French.
No,
No, huh?
it's not.
Okay. Cartoon. Is it Changana?
No. Wish it were Shangan. It's not. Does that sound like Shangan? Cartoon?
Yeah, cartoon. Oh, cartoon.
One more guess?
Yeah, I can take it. So maybe it's Latin.
No, it's not.
Okay. What is it?
It comes from Italy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What does it mean?
Excuse me?
What does cartoon
let me
mean?
give you in English it means a simple drawing in a somewhat humorous style. It's also an animated film for kids. Cartoon likely comes from Italian word cartone,
Okay,
which were
like a
full scale drawings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So we've just covered our etymology quest segment, and let's proceed with our discussion with Mr. Bruno. I talked about in the introduction, I mentioned Comenzo. It's an initiative
Yeah.
It's a project.
Exactly.
How did it start, and what inspired you to come up with this concept, Comensu, and what it is?
Okay. I started looking at life in a different perspective when in the years to 2018. I experienced a lot of loved ones that passed away, and I noticed that there isn't a legacy that somebody has left. I mean, people tend to go to school, then work. After work, they provide for their families, or they build a house, they build a car, and then they travel around and maybe make a small business that sales, etc. But there isn't a legacy that's left behind. And I find it fundamental and important that you can leave something on earth that makes a difference for somebody, that it can be talked about in the future. Like, no, there was this guy who was around here, and he came and introduced this that is helping people today. Okay? So I started thinking deeply about it, and I came to a conclusion that I could help people in the education sector. Okay? Because I traveled to Shidengel once, right? And I met this lady, this girl actually, and she was selling peanuts.
Okay.
And she was insisting me to buy peanuts, like on a cup and stuff. And we were there with friends and stuff. And I found it annoying that she wasn't going away. So
Right.
I found it interesting and that she was insisting. And I asked her, why are you so persistent? We said we don't want. She said, no. It's because I really need the money. And she was smiling about it. She wasn't upset or anything. Neither was I. So I told her, I asked her, okay, what is it all about? Where are you going to? What do you need the money so desperately for? And she said, no, it's because I have exams. I'm going to do exams. Just last year I wasn't able to do the exams for a vacancy or for a course in a university in Mozambique. So a public universities, you have to do exams, right, to be accepted. So she had to do that, and she had to pay to do the exams and stuff. And she didn't have the money. So that's why she was selling peanuts, so she can accumulate funds and going to pay for the exam.
Make some savings, yes.
To do the exams. So I got interested in that. So I came home and I started thinking about it. And also, I went through a conversation with her. She had good grades in her high school. She was very good in maths and stuff like that. I did some simple questions about maths, and she responded. And I really saw she was intelligent. And she didn't have the opportunity because her parents didn't have money.
How old was she?
I think around 19, most probably.
So.
19, 18, most probably. So she had finished grade 12 high school, and she didn't have the money to continue her studies. So I went back home and I thought about it. So I contacted some people and I asked, how does this work? And they said, no, it never existed. A situation whereby somebody can save money in a company, trust that company, that company can pay for the university of the child in the future. So it's sort of like a deposit in a fund.
Okay.
Okay, so the parent will register himself in the system, pay a monthly fee that's fixed, that doesn't have any interest or anything. So he will pay until the kid finishes grade 12. After the kid finishes grade 12, all his studies for the university are covered by the company, may it be in Mozambique or abroad. Okay, so in Mozambique, basically right now what we're doing is we're paying for everybody. We have a couple of students who are in different universities, and we're paying for their tuition fees. And then we have students also that are studying abroad. We have students in, let's say, like going to India. We have students in Zimbabwe also, university. We have students who are going to Turkey. We have students who are going to Indonesia and stuff. So that's our motto. That's where we're coming from. We want to help the most needy, but not only. We're also people that have conditions that are paying for normally for the students to go to school today, but don't know what the future upholds, can also get into the fund and do the contributions and guarantee that his child is going to go to university in the future.
Many students in Mozambique, they dream of pursuing their studies abroad, especially in top universities.
Yeah.
How can Comenso support this initiative, and how does English proficiency play a role in this process?
I'll have to say that English is not a difficult language, right?
Okay.
It's not a difficult language. That's the thing. Portuguese is a difficult language. So most students that even go and do master's degrees abroad don't have a problem with integrating into English because English is not difficult. Once you're involved with people speaking English,
yes.
you get into the rhythm and it's easy. And English-speaking language system is far more fair than the Portuguese English-speaking system, educational, so to say, because there's levels and there's many options and you can integrate yourself into what's more favorable for you as a student. Okay, so that's not a problem. We have recently sent one kid to Zimbabwe. She was very doubtful. She thought she was going to have problems with English, but it's been 2 weeks now and she's doing very well. She's happy. She's already speaking English. She's writing and reading and everything. She's into it.
That's exceptional.
Yeah.
Exceptional.
And when I was in Zimbabwe, I noticed a lot of students that came from Mozambique, they couldn't speak English. And in 2 weeks, they're already integrating.
Integrated.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on with our second segment, which we call, that's From Blunder to Wonder. Let's check it. Here we are back again from Blunder to Wonder. This is a segment where we try to find out from our guest. When learning a language, there are usually some words or expressions that we use them in a wrong context. It's either we pronounce them wrongly, but this is all without knowing that this is not the correct way. And after some time, then we come to realize that, no, I've been using this thing in the wrong way. Has that ever happened to you, that you use something for a period of time in English, but you didn't know that you were making a mistake?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Do you recall any?
Yeah, I do.
Any of that? And could you give us an example if you have one?
Maybe I think maybe you don't even know that this word is pronounced wrong.
Okay.
Poor.
Poor.
P-O-O-R.
Okay.
How do you pronounce poor?
Poor.
It's poor.
Poor.
It's not poor.
Poor, yeah.
It's poor.
But it's very common to hear people pronouncing it
Poor.
as poor.
Yeah, but it's not poor. It's poor.
Will that be the result of an accent-related thing, or?
I think it's negligence.
Negligence.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because when I found out, I was astonished. I was like, okay, I didn't know. I thought it was poor.
Okay.
But it's not poor.
It's poor.
It's poor.
Poor.
With an R.
Yeah.
Yeah, poor.
One of the things that I do when I'm struggling with pronouncing a word, especially a word that I'm meeting for the first time,
Okay.
I usually go to YouTube or some other pronunciation pages to see how others pronounce it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So that's a safeguard.
Yeah, that's a safeguard, yeah.
Okay,
sure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, so that was it, our Blunder to Wonder segment. Well, let's continue with our conversation. You've achieved a lot. You are a legal expert. We talked about it. And running Comenso, especially this remarkable, I would say it's a very innovative project which caters for students who want to pursue their studies abroad. What advice would you give to the parents?
In terms of?
In terms of embracing this opportunity.
Oh, well, our slogan says, The future is education.
And the future?
Is education. That's our slogan.
Okay.
It's not the future, but future is education.
Future is education.
Yeah, the was omitted on purpose. Future is education. This the fundamental thing that I think the government of Mozambique must recognize is that there's no development without future. That's one thing. So this thought must also be acknowledged by the parents. If you want a better future, embrace education, because education is the key to success. It doesn't mean that you have education or you're an educated person that you're a literate person that you're going to have a nice job. It's not directly proportional, but it will take you places. It will open your mind. It can boost your thoughts. You know, it's all about that. Learning is very good. So prepare yourself for the future in Comenzo. That's fun. Because, you know, in the world, I haven't seen a company that does the same as we do. We know of companies that the parent goes and deposits money, and then when he dies, then the company will give the kid the money when he's an adult, or they save money, and then when the child is an adult, then they'll give him that money and stuff like that. But there isn't a company whereby the parent contributes money throughout a period of time to have his kid going to university with all the tuition fees paid for. And it's not expensive. It's a very fair price. Just imagine you can pay something like 450 meticais a month. I mean, it's affordable. It's an affordable value. That's good.
Yeah. When I first heard about the initiative, I was amazed. I was very, very, very surprised. And the information is also circulating on the cell phones through text messages.
Yeah.
And so in most cases, I've noticed that people don't tend to go through those messages they actually like viral messages.
Yes.
They think it's either a virus, they think it's either a scam or a hoax and stuff. Yes. So here's a chance for you guys. I have in person the CEO and founder of Comenzo. So if you happen to see that text getting into your inbox on your phone, know that it is true, because we have the man himself here, right here.
Yes.
Mr.
But
Bruno.
we also have the website.
Yes,
so,
yes. And you can always check.
Yeah, through the website, you can go and see. We partners with companies, credible
some
companies.
Reputable institutions.
Reputable institutions.
If you could go back to your old school days, what is the one thing that you could change in a way that it would benefit you in terms of improving your English skills? Maybe a habit that you couldn't break it back then, and not today. You feel that I think I could do away with that.
Well, I think I was very, how can I say, not adventurous. I think in my days when I was in my 20s, I should have thought of maybe traveling and not depending on my dad in my 20s.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that kept you from focusing on your...
No, I did focus on my studies.
Okay.
But I think if I had adventured a lot, just go. Oh. Let's say go to a European country and wash dishes.
Yeah. Get it from the source.
Yeah,
they say
go and wash dishes and go to school.
Yeah.
Live by myself and make it happen by myself. You know, I should have done that when I was still young.
Good.
That's the only thing that I think I should have changed in my life. Travel around. Just travel around. That's, maybe ask my dad, say, give me $1,000.
Right.
And he says, for what? I'm going away. And just go somewhere, Seychelles or something,
right.
England or the States. I know I'll make it big because I'm very open-minded.
That'd be
stuff.
great.
I'll be places. I'll be very far. If that would happen, I'll be very far if that would happen. I would be there, to talk about it.
Mr.
Today.
Bruno, almost getting to the end of our discussion, but we still have the final segment, which we call, that's the 5 faves, which is your 5 favorite English related things. Let's have it. Well, welcome back to the 5 Fabs. Mr. Bruno, 5 Fabs has to do with your 5 favorite English-related things. And I'm going to ask you one by one. The first word, not the word, but the first thing is give me your favorite English word.
My favorite.
What is your favorite English word?
My favorite English word is persistence.
Persistence. That's a good one.
Yeah, persistence.
And what about your favorite English phrase, idiom, or proverb?
There's a lot of Tom, Dicks, and Harrys.
Excuse me?
There is a lot of Tom, Dicks, and Harrys.
There is a lot of Tom,
Dicks
and
and
Harrys.
Yeah.
That's impressive. And what does that mean?
Okay, you know, there's a lot of guys called Tom. There's a lot of people called Dick, and there's a lot of people called Harry.
Okay.
All right, it's a common name.
Okay.
So everybody is common. Don't be surprised if you see somebody flashy coming with a beautiful watch and a nice suit, talking nice to you. He's just another Tom, Dick, and Harry.
I get it.
Don't worry
I get
about
it.
him.
Number 3, what is your favorite English song or lyric? Your favorite English song or lyric?
Frank Sinatra, My Way.
My Way.
Yeah.
It's a good one too.
You know that song?
Yeah. I play it on the radio sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love it.
Number 4, what is your favorite English book or author?
Othello by Shakespeare.
Othello by Shakespeare.
Yeah. Othello by Shakespeare. It's about love and betrayal, because Othello thought, he actually was told that his wife, Desdemona, was unfaithful.
Okay.
And,
yeah. It's good to know.
Yeah.
Finally, what is your favorite English accent?
My favorite English accent?
Yes.
That I like to listen to.
Whatever, yeah, I think so.
Dilemma.
Which accent do you like the most?
Dilemma.
Again?
Dilemma.
Dilemma. Is that an accent?
Yeah.
Really?
Dilemma. Yeah.
Oh, that's impressive.
Dilemma.
Mr. Bruno, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciated your presence. I think your ideas and thoughts are inspirational.
Okay.
Please, any final words in very, very brief, 30 seconds.
Okay. For everybody that's listening, thank you for being there. I wish you well. I wish the program well. Okay.
Thank you.
Maybe a little bit of marketing so many people can know about it. But just be persistent.
Thank you.
And things will go far. Just be in everything you do. Once you're persistent, things will go far. And also, you can access www.comensu.co.mz. That's where you can find out about the company.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Well, thank you so much. And of course, to our viewers, just remember that education is a collective effort. Whether you are a parent, a teacher, a student, a policymaker, just remember that your words and actions count. Together, we can transform the way how education is conducted in Mozambique. Well, if you liked this episode, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for future episodes. My name is Tim Alfredo, and of course, you've been watching your Chat Desk Unplugged right here on Mindcast TV. See you next time. Stay tuned, stay curious, and keep learning. Ciao.